So, um, 3 to 5 times a week. It means our nutrition also has to be on the top notch with that. So please, viewers, take easy, and then as you enjoy, you also plan for the pregnancy also. So, Madam Mary, we want to know something. As you were with your submission, you talked about knowing our period, know about the nutrition, and then lifestyle. And then, if I do all this, do I need to go and see a doctor before I get pregnant?
Yes. So we want the body to be as prepared as it can be before we get pregnant. And so we want to clear our doubts on any medical conditions that one may have. There are some tests that we need to undertake. So there is a need for you to meet with a medical officer. Then the person will take your past and your present medical conditions, including any medications that you are on or that you have taken currently, your allergies, they all come into play. So you need to go and meet them. Then you also need to meet your medical personnel or your ONG specialist to assess yourself on previous pregnancies. Probably you have been pregnant in the past and there were issues with it. So you need to give the history of all the pregnancies that you have been through. You need to give history about the complications, any fertility concerns that you have. There are some people that have been trying for pregnancy for quite some time and it hasn't come. Probably it is the timing of the sexual intercourse. Sometimes it is when they have the intercourse or how long they separate. Probably both couples are not staying together, but they say they are planning for pregnancy. So they have had a baby in the past, but after that they are trying so much and there is a space. We call that secondary infertility. So you need to see your medical doctor on that. Then also there are physical examinations that you need to take. We need to check that you will have a healthy weight before pregnancy. And so your weight will be checked, your height will be checked. We check your height because when you carry a pregnancy to term, we want to know whether you'll be able to deliver by yourself or we need to put in medical interventions.
But then with the height, how can one not deliver with my height?
Yes.
So tall or too short?
Yes. So normally we put this at 150 cm.
Okay.
That's why anytime that you go to the antenatal, they take your height. So by practice, we take it that a woman who is less than 150 cm may not, because of the short stature, may not be able to deliver by herself her vagina. And so that person is a candidate for cesarean section. Yes, so that's why we need to check your height. And also we need to check for your sugars, then your blood pressure. Because in as much as blood pressure affects pregnancy, pregnancy also affects blood pressure. So it is, yes, it is vice versa.
So you may not be having blood pressure,
but pregnancy in itself can make you have a high blood pressure.
Okay.
And you may also be having blood pressure, but pregnancy will worsen it. So we need to know your blood pressure. If it's high, we try and control it before you become pregnant. And also if you are diabetic, because once you are diabetic, pregnancy in itself can increase your blood sugar. It can worsen your diabetes. And it has a lot of complications. So we try to control your blood sugar before you become pregnant. Then also, there are some screenings that you need to do. One very fundamental that stands out amongst us Africans is sickling. You need to know your sickling status and that of your partner before you conceive. Yes, because sickling in it, so once you know your sickling status, let's say you are SS and your partner is AS, or you are even AS, which is the sickling carrier, you have a trait of the sickling status, and your partner also have the traits. So it means that AS and AS, normally we recommend that both should not conceive, because the likelihood that you are going to bear a child that has a sickling, the full sickling status, which is SS, is 50% high. And the complications that follows, you may not want to experience it. And so it's better you know your sickling status, know that of your partner. Normally, when you do a normal sickling status, it will come out positive. But when you go further, that is if you're a carrier. But when you go further to do the electrophoresis, once you are AS, it shows that you are a carrier, but you are not having the full sickling status. When you are having the full sickling status, it will come out as SS. So you know exactly what to do and the steps to take further.
But now that there is love in the name, people don't want to give up their partners, what should they do?
So sometimes when you listen up to stories of people who ignore this and follow through because of love, they will tell you the regrets they have had. And you would reconsider whether you will still follow love or now you would go by the reality. It is not pleasant. Imagine that you give birth to a child, the child is suffering, and every month you may have to spend about 2 or 3 months hospitalized in the hospital because the child is having crisis, and you have to spend all your savings on this child. That's one part. You may not. Where would the love be then? There will be so much stress between the couple, and it will end up with so many regrets. And so we want you to look out and check your sickling status. Especially in Africa, we have it so much amongst us, and realize that the child born would suffer, and no mother going through this stress of pregnancy, no mother wants to see the child suffer. So it's better you avoid that.
So viewers, you get it from the midwife. We should not at least think about the child that you are going to bring into the world. What will happen to that child? The life living span of those individuals, they don't really live long. And then having that battle for over and over again. I think we should have everything. Thank you so much, Auntie.
There are also some tests that you need to do. So a full blood test. It's not just about the sickling we've talked about. We also need to know about your creatinine. There are so many things that you need to know before you become pregnant. We also want to know about your urine. How healthy is your urine? Want to know about your liver? Want to know about your kidney? Just as I said, it's pregnancy. It's a 9 months journey, but it affects everything about you. So you do not want to go in unprepared. So you need to know the level of your kidney, how healthy your kidney is, and how healthy your liver is. Then also about any infectious diseases, sexually transmitted infections. And we need to know your HIV status. You need to know your syphilis status. You need to know your gonorrhea status.
Yes. So you have to know all this before you get pregnant.
That is the ideal thing. But most of us, we get pregnant before we even know our HIV status. Yes.
Okay. And most of the time, people even get pregnant 3 months, 4 months before they want to now start antenatal, which will be too late for you to be doing all these medical tests. Nowadays, we have a lot of pressure in the system. We have career mothers out there. We have business women. Women are taking 2 or 3 jobs. So there is stress. People are going through a lot of stress. And we know stress is one thing that has a lot of thing on the body. That stress also contributes.
Yes. So normally when there's even pressure on a woman that she needs to get pregnant within a certain time, the body also reacts, and the woman is not able to pick up seed. So one needs to be relaxed.
Okay.
When you want
even for conception.
Even for conception. So one needs to manage stress levels before you become pregnant.
Okay.
Because the stress levels will affect the production of the eggs. The stress level affects production of sperms. So probably you are shooting, but you're not making any difference. Yes.
You're not hitting
your targets.
Wow.
And the woman is not catching the ball.
Wow.
So we need to be relaxed. So I tell women that there are some women that they tell me that I need to conceive by this time. My husband is putting pressure on me. Pregnancy will not occur. Relax.
Because of that anxiety.
The anxiety levels would bring pregnancy. You would be at a barest minimum to conceive. So you need to relax. You need to relax.
So
At
is
any
it that
point in time.
if putting pressure on your hormones, the eggs, the man's eggs, or what?
So it is holistic.
Okay.
It is only pregnancy is an interplay of hormones. So hormones work, and now your body is able to receive the sperm, and now it fertilizes and it becomes a zygote. Then it would develop, then it will become a fetus, and it will stay. Anxiety in itself can even make you miscarry.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
When you are anxious, the body reacts in so many ways. It can cause your blood pressure to shoot up. It can cause your blood sugar to shoot up. And so it can even cause your body to reject the pregnancy. When people are using alternative forms of assisted reproduction technologies, we tell them that once you are stressed out, your body can reject the fetus. Even when you have undergone IVF and you have spent so much money, the body in itself can reject the fetus.
All because of stress.
All because of stress.
Wow.
So stress and pregnancy do not go together.
At all.
So once you are trying to conceive and you know you're under stress, then you need to take away everything that's causing the stress.